and Mike is gonna speak next because he hit me. He want to speak next. But basically, what's being said is, okay, it's Cap. Great. What's next? What's the solution? What can be done? How can you move in a situation to where you don't have to deal with that bullshit? That's basically what's being said. Go ahead.
Well, no, let Joe finish because you know Joe was on to an interesting point.
Oh, I
I'll go
thought
after Joe.
I ain't
He
cut
was
him
on to
off.
something interesting.
You want to say something else, Joe?
No, 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 no.
You
I'm
was
done. I don't know what part of that applies to who. There might be people in here that are with the former and people in here that are with the latter. So I don't know which way the combo is going, but I just want to separate the two.
Nah,
no
I get what
word.
you're saying. I appreciate that, Joe.
Go ahead, Mike. He
So
was
And
done.
Hustle, I appreciate what you
Hey,
said too, my
hey
boy.
Joe,
I
can you hear me?
appreciate.
This Mike John, can you hear me?
Yeah, hey,
All right, I'm gonna commend you on this because this is what I be telling a lot of my homies. Like, you remember when you was just like how you said, it's a difference in the two, like the business and the personal of it. Like, if you love it, that's you love it, but it's a business that's separate. Like, you remember how you was trying to put Yachty on game and he didn't understand what was going on. You know, see, you understand both sides of this shit. You feel what I'm saying? Because you a painter. When I say painter, that's an artist. You know, you create. You know, you flow, and you know the business side too. So by you taking this platform, you know, yeah, you love it, but you also, I see it from my perspective, you trying to give back to the new ones who might got this gift or this talent, but don't know that other side of that music mirror. You feel what I'm saying? So when you
always.
enlighten them on something and enlighten them on this and on that, and they looking at you like, bro, what are you talking about? I'm good already. Like, I see you without even seeing you laugh because it's like, bro, I'm trying to help you out. You don't even see you gonna be coming back to me in 5 years. You follow me where I'm going, big home?
Yeah, but I mean, it's for the people that get it, right? Like take Yachty. Yeah, as fucked up as my delivery was, and he didn't understand it then. Look at
It
him
wasn't
now.
fucked up, bro. That's why I argue with people. It wasn't fucked up. Like sometimes you gotta be straight up with motherfuckers. All this, just like how our old homie said, he tried to get his homie on the record. His homie didn't want to listen to the record, but when the labels told him that's the record, hell yeah, he gonna dig right and play that bitch 100,000 times because his boss told him that's the record to run with. They need somebody that's like you, that's not finna just run for a paycheck.
And,
You feel what
and,
I'm
and,
saying?
and they
Hey,
need
hold on, Fat.
somebody, and they need somebody that's like me, that's gonna call a cat when niggas be capping.
Hold on,
And that's
Fat.
respect.
Hey,
No, that it
hey,
is cap. You right. You right.
hey, Mike and Joe. The thing that I think a lot of young people miss is feeling like being the artist is the end all be all. And what I appreciate even from Joe, and I fucking DM Joe and let him know I'm on his ass from a journalistic standpoint. I think you also got to keep your eyes down the field when you have an example like Joe, who is arguably, and this could be my opinion, but arguably one of the best artists or painters, picture painters that we've ever had. But at some point, Joe realized like, yo, I have to figure out how to use my voice and how to use my impact and who I am in other areas or in other dynamics. And I feel like if you're gonna get any advice from somebody, a veteran who's been in the game, that's been able to transition, that's the advice that you take. Not, well, how do you combat the issue with the DJs? How do you combat, this, that, or the third? It's like you got to figure that out as you go, but you can't put all of your eggs in one basket if this is what you're trying to do. Because you may look up in 15 years, and after 15 years, the day you decide to give up, that next day could have been the day a door opened for you. So the patience in this shit is something that you have to have. You
Yeah,
have to have patience because there's no there's no answer. Nobody's gonna come and put $1 million in your fucking pocket without a guarantee on a return on their investment. So don't just
See,
don't just
let,
limit yourself
let me
to
say this. Let me say this,
yeah.
bro. Let me say this.
Yo,
Look, you know when you go to school, right? You got elementary, you got middle school, you got high school. You got different brackets before you finally graduate. When you come into this game, it's all of those combined in one thrown in your goddamn face. It ain't like okay, you going through trying to graduate. You got some that's coming in the game 17 years old that then blew up, went through elementary, middle school, and college all at one time. There's no way they gonna know all of these different multiple levels. Just like I was just saying when Joe had brought him on the show. Yeah, it's the kid's favorite artist. It's his. You know, that's the new artist everybody looking at today. But Joe was going in his head like, hey, do you know about this? Do you know about the contract? Do you know about this, this, this? And everybody just wanna shed that under the rug, but that's the shit you're gonna be regretting in 5 to 7 years because the OGs know about that shit. We went through that already, and now they have the new age kids to where they don't gotta worry about it. Just take the shine, take the look, and we'll
Well,
let you complain about it 10 years from now. That's why we gotta go back to keep being direct like Joe was, keep putting it in
yeah,
their face. I don't care who
I
pissed
want to
off.
say
You
something.
gotta keep doing that.
I want to say something, right? And this is just for me, right? I'm speaking for myself, right? I don't. This is a disclaimer. My name is Facts, right? This is for me. And facts we trust. We only trust facts. And I'm only saying that to say, don't. If you want to be in this industry, buddy, and you know what I'm saying, I recommend you not to listen to me because I'm not the nigga that's gonna be kissing these A&R's ass. I'm not gonna be the nigga that's sucking dick, fake kicking it with niggas, giving. I'm not doing that. I'm not that. So you don't want to take no advice from me, and I recommend you not to if that's the type of time that you on because I'm gonna call it how it is. You feel me? That's just me,
But
my
facts,
brand,
that's
my
dangerous because
energy.
you have
No.
the
But
voice. You have the
hustle,
voice.
listen, hustle. I get it, but I'm not gonna be the nigga that's fake kicking it. I can't fake kick it. I'm not. I don't want industry friends.
Nah, he's saying it right.
I
He's
don't want
saying exactly
industry
what he's supposed
friends,
to say.
bro.
Because
Like I can't, bro. Bro, I don't want industry. That's just me. You feel me? So, with the disclaimer, if y'all want to be in that place and area, then respectfully, don't listen to me. But if you want that real shit, then those are the people that I'm talking
Yo,
to.
see, this is the other problem. Not to keep circling back to this point, but I got some time. My baby won't go to sleep, so fuck it.
What up, Lex?
Listen, yeah, this guy's fucking crazy over here, and he's abusive, fucking me up. Listen,
you deserve.
this is the problem. The problem is oh, how do you say this? Like even in this conversation is so broad, but all artists need to be more intentional with like what are your intentions? Like Stacks is making it very clear. If you want to be in the industry, I am not the person to speak to about that. If you want to go that route. If you start asking artists, that's why when they ask me, hey Joe, what can I do? I put it back on them. Hey, what do you want? And when you ask that, it's normally silence because artists haven't taken the time to figure out exactly what they want. And if they don't know what they want, how can you know which route to take? Which is why when we have these music conversations, all of the different routes just get jumbled into one fucking pot. But no, this shit is so nuanced, man. There's some niggas that, hey, I only want to be a touring act. I only want to tour. Like artists today is even they so reclusive and introverted they don't even really want to be in the camera, so they finding new ways to be artists. So what I'm saying is, if you ask an artist what they want, one nigga might tell you, "Yo, I just want $1 million." Okay, well then I'm gonna give you the exact route to get there, or a few routes to get there. But when you get there, are you gonna want more? Is that gonna be enough? Some niggas might say, "Yo, I just want to move my mom out the hood." Okay, but when you get there to do that, is that enough? Or are you willing to do what it takes to get your mom out the hood? No. Some niggas not gonna keep it real and say, yo, dog, what happened, Bobby? Come here. Some niggas not gonna keep it real and just say, yo, dog, I just want attention. I don't want nothing but attention. I just want to be seen. I don't love this shit. I just want to get it popping out here. Niggas ain't gonna keep it that real and when they look in the mirror. So I mean, how can you really give niggas advice when niggas don't really know what they want from music? Like for me, it was real simple. When I signed at Def Jam, and the deal kind of just came out of the blue, which is why I ended up using my real name. I didn't even have a fucking name at the time. But when I signed, the one thing I knew I wanted was, yo, all the niggas that I ever thought was nice, they need to know I'm nice. The end. Now, with that, I took all that came with that, which was being negligent in business, not really paying attention to the contracts, the inner workings of things, the structure, the just who was who and what was what. As a result, It maybe took me 20 years, not 20, 17 years to put myself into the exact situations that I knew I wanted to be in because I had to learn how to be intentional. So when we having these talks about art, because all art is subjective, you got to start asking the artists what they want. Every artist don't want their shit in the museum.
That's
That was
something that
some
I
real shit.
that's something that I really wish I had you for before. I was actually talking to a producer on here like a couple of days ago, and he was basically saying like, yeah, you can't be great at this without having the notoriety. And I was basically explaining to him that like the notoriety of it all is not a part of something that I'm personally looking for when it comes to what I do. Like what I want is for my own personal businesses to flourish. I want to flip houses to the point to where I don't have to work when I get out of my bed. If I feel like working, I can. If I don't have to. I want to be able to be in the studio all day because I like to make music. That's what I like to do. I'm not really too interested in the industry shit of it all. If people fuck with it, great, and it gets to that point, fine. That's not my personal goal. My personal goal is to be financially stable and to be able to make music without having a bunch of motherfuckers in my business. That's what I want. And people feel
Same,
Hey,
like it's
like
a
like,
I never.
go no.
nah, go ahead, Joe. You good?
No, I was gonna say I agree. Like I much like Stacks when I've got in the music
Facts,
business.
Joe.
I mean, why am I saying Stacks? My bad. Facts. Much like Facts when I
That's
got in the
bundle.
music business. Yeah, word. Rest in peace. Like that's when I learned all of this shit, and I was like, oh, this is not quite what I thought. Right? I wasn't
Mhm.
with all the phony shit. I wasn't with the smiles. I didn't want to do nothing that they told me I had to do to succeed as a major label recording artist. So then I had to try to get out of that. Right? So today, and I might have told myself that, yo, when my son is grown, I don't want to rap. I might have said that back then at 20. Now that always changes for niggas. But today, when niggas come up to me when I'm out, right, the artists, they be like, Joe, let me talk to you about my artist. I manage this person, or I got a song, and I be like, yo, dog, I'm not in the music business at all. I don't work for no radio station. I work for me. So nah, if your shit get hot, I'll hear it. But I move alongside of it because I never liked it. It was never for me. Like I never wanted to do the things that needed to be done to stay in it. So yeah, I'm
Mhm.
cool with niggas, and all the niggas I'm cool with is probably they in the industry.
So
Because if you
Joe.
got to
That's
play the
why
game,
that's why I fell back after I blew up the first year I did it because I didn't want to stay doing all the bullshit that I found out that came with it. You know what I'm saying? So I
Mhm.
was like, fuck it too. I could have stayed on the screen every year after y'all seen me blow up. You know what I'm saying? For y'all can say that, oh yeah, he's still on. But thank God I had a contract that was in my favor that I did in '05 that the label still have to pay me for today. You know what I'm saying? That's
Mhm.
why I fell back. That's why they turned the machines off on Mike Jones. That's why they came up with the 360 deals and started doing that to all these new artists because they want to make sure they eat off your touring, they eat off your merch. They didn't eat off my merch when I came out with my deal. It was just a record deal only. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I did my deal with Swisher, who immaturely did their deal with Warner. I didn't do my deal directly with Warner Brothers. So that's what saved me too. You see what I'm saying? So I
Mhm.
came in it
mm-hmm.
just like Joe came in and seen it. Oh damn, there's some fucked up shit going on in this house. I don't gotta stay on the screen for attention just so y'all can say I'm on. I blew up and hit a home run my first album. If I never do it again, I'm straight off that motherfucker. But I
So I
don't
Shout
got
want
a
to
out
give
to
y'all
the
question
the
for both.
young,
name.
Sure
shout
enough.
out to the young men
So
out here that signing contracts for $10,000 in a bag.
so I got a
Yo, I
question
love.
for both of y'all.
Right.
Since we got y'all here. So since you know, like Joe said, you was like, yo, so I want to know what you want. So since you know what's wanted, how do you do that? Because y'all had to unfortunately go through all the bullshit to realize, like, yo, this ain't it for me. How do we avoid that if that's not what we want? If I want to be in a position to be able to, like, because I love to create. It's really sad that people don't genuinely love to create and do what they do. It's all about what other people want to hear and making sure that you're appeasing to these niggas. That blocks my creative process. That's not
Cause
fun
it
for
got
me
watered
anymore.
down. It got
Like,
watered down.
So how do y'all do that without having to go through the bullshit that y'all had to go through?
I love what Joe was saying. Joe, I hope he can answer that question for you, man. I love how he said, be intentional with what you want. I love how Joe came up. I love the whole Joe Budden story, man. So I hope Joe can answer that question right there.
Yo, I ain't
How
gonna lie.
how do we do? What was the last part?
So my last part was like basically because you had asked like I always ask what it is that you want, so you know what I want or other people want in this room or whatever. If how y'all had to go through bullshit to realize, look, yo, this ain't it. How do we do what we want without having to go through that aspect of it? For those that's not all gas that have everybody in their business, all the notoriety, that really just want to create in the game. Like, how do you
Oh
do
no, 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 no. Don't okay, don't misconstrue what I'm saying.
it? Mhm.
Once you're done being intentional and you know exactly what you want, then you know the bullshit that you signed up for.
Uh huh.
Because
So,
there is no route that's free of bullshit.
uh,
Dirty, what's up, my boy?
But you get listen, hey
Start with
listen,
it.
it's like relationships, right?
uh huh.
Like everybody got they fucked up shit and you find a partner that you compatible with they fucked up shit. Like it's no different.
Right. So
Like
basically,
everything that I go through in my podcast journey, it don't shock me because when I started the podcast journey, I envisioned all of the shit that could happen in the journey. Yeah, I remember I was represented by Theo Sotomayor, right? One time, and this is when I was trying to get off Def Jam.
Oh my God.
I was trying, yeah, I know. We'll talk about it later. Yeah, I was trying to get off of Def Jam, and I was represented by Theo Sotomayor, and I had just threw this Lucy song out in the street, and Theo was trying to get me off Def Jam. I threw this song out. I think it was called Stunting. Just a Lucy. I just threw it out bored. And then Enough played it. She started getting a couple spins in New York. The Hood was playing it. And then Theo cursed me out. He said I made his job so much harder by putting this song out. And I was like, yeah, but it was a Lucy. I'm a rapper. It's my passion. I got to work. I got to be active. And he said, yeah, but I want to treat every song like it's a hit because every song could be a hit and you just never know. And that's what it looks like is happening.
that's
So
that.
when I say what bullshit do you sign up for? Like he was saying, always picture the best case scenario. I got four other lawyers that it's their job to always tell me all of the worst case scenarios because that's what you might end up in.
Hey, real quick, y'all. I know Dirty just came in the room, and I wanted to. Dirty, you still here?
Nah, he going, my boy.
Okay. I was going to point out, Dirty is somebody that, if you're aware of who he is, Dirty started out as an artist in Oakland. And because of his relationships, he then developed into an A&R, like an independent A&R, worked with, Pop Smoke and, obviously, have relationships with Nip and shit like that. And now he's, co-managing and basically with Nardo Wick every single day. And I've watched him develop his career based off of the opportunities that presented him themselves, and him having his eyes down the field to notice when those opportunities presented themselves and everything that he brought to the table. I rapped before I met, John Monopoly, but the day I met him when I was super young, I never mentioned rap because I knew that that's all the fuck that he hears. So me not mentioning that allowed me to, get in position and then start my trek based off of opportunities that presented themselves. So like Joe was saying, there's no set process because as an artist, you think with a different part of your brain than the executives or the label owners or even the A&Rs because those positions are interchangeable. A lot of these A&Rs are stuck in a revolving door process. If they don't bring in the right artist, then they ass is out. You know what I'm saying? So it's genuinely a matter of if this is what you want to do, you got to really decide that shit and you have to accept everything that's going to come along with it and just deal with it, but know that there are always going to be other opportunities. You just have to fucking, open your eyes to them and see that.
Hey, Joe just said
That's
some
a
shit about
fact.
him having his lawyers point out the worst case scenarios. That was crazy. I don't know if y'all, one of y'all heading out, but
Nah,
that's
it
fire.
definitely didn't. It's something that I gotta like implement to that part, because even when coming to relationships, like I always say, for me to date somebody, I gotta like how we argue. And that's basically the same shit that he's saying when it comes to the relationship that I would have with the industry or whatever I do. I have to like the bullshit. I gotta be comfortable with whatever bullshit I choose to deal with, because it's inevitable. Just like arguing in a relationship is inevitable. So I have to at least like how we do that and know that we can communicate
Yeah.
through those tough times.
I
So
think that's a great way to look at shit too. Like
yeah.
we all could be cool